Hey guys, new review. It's Dave here. Just one thing, please remember to subscribe if you have not. And anyway, I'm back here for another review today with a familiar face. Yep, you've seen her before in December, but this is Jeanne from Phantasy Star Online 2 ES. And so in December, I did the Stella Innocent version, but this is the Stella Tears version. So some subtle changes, basically all cosmetic mainly. I'll go into it later, but the main thing is that bow is now it's red and yellow and blue. I think it looks amazing. So here you can see lots of colourful runners and 3 great pre-moulded pieces with green hems on the dress already painted on, and also 3 lovely pre-painted faces, totally different to the last version. Looking at this page of the manual, you can see that designer Niddy2D has also created this one with his artwork, and then Kotobukiya has taken that and made this kit that we're reviewing today. His theme has always been simply beautiful, but when you look up closely, you'll see a lot of more complications and details. So I think I'd agree with that. Looking up closer, you can see a lot of details on the head and on that weapon. If you painted it, you'd see a hell of a lot more, because there are some lovely hemlines on the dress that can be painted green, and that would be really nice. There's some good panel lines on the weapon as well, which could be manipulated and changed colour, which would look very good. But the standard thing that you have here is a white dress. Most of the colour separation is going to be just 3 colours on the bow, and you get some green parts that you can put on to add some detail to that dress at the front. But yeah, simple with the ability to be made a bit more detailed. And I guess if you look at his pictures, then yes, they are exactly like that. The kit is a little bit more simpler. So you get the girl, just her. This is her only phase. She doesn't come unarmoured. You don't get unarmoured legs or arms. This is her, and this is all you get in the kit. And you get 1 bow and 1 stand. And the bow has 1 gimmick. We'll get into that later. Okay guys, so let's take a look at some articulation. Starting with the feet. These are mainly solid parts, and you have 1 guard up here. Now, this is a little bit annoying, that it does pop out quite a lot, and that is mainly because the socket of this part here is extremely small. So you've got to be careful there. But it has a slight range of motion, but because she has high heels, I mean, you're not going to be doing much with this anyway. It does rotate like that, but in essence it is just a peg with 1 point of articulation in the middle. Moving up, you have these armor parts that go over her knees, armor guards. So the great thing about these is that they are actually sandwiched inside of this leg, this armor part here. So they're not going to come out, which is amazing. I love that. The knee joint is just very simple, and I'm going to take this leg off to show you easier. But what you have here is a small polycap inside of another joint, and as you can see here, I'm going to cut away, but you can see that it does have some type of movement there that you can go up and down, just to give there a bit more range of motion. Here, it's just a peg, but that gives you the 360 ability to rotate. So with that extra range of motion, you're able to have some type of flexibility there. So it's not just 1 ball joint, you can type of move it up and down as well, with inside the leg. That being said, the dress is going to not be on any type of hinge. This is static, and so you're restricted as much as she can move her leg up there, but you can do stuff like that. So it means that actually you can do the splits, but her bum will be a bit higher up than maybe normal. This tie is a static piece. Everything else here is static. Looking at her waist joint, it is just 1 peg, but this is on another very flexible joint here, so it does give a good range of motion as far as the other parts are allowed. But you can see it's pretty good, gives a good range of motion there. Now these, unlike below, aren't sandwiched in, so they could come off if you were too violent with them, but I haven't had too much trouble. The arm itself is just on 1 point of motion there, and the hands are on simple little pegs, but look, you've got a good ability to go round, and this is also able to move up and down. Like here, it is not fixed internally, so be careful. Now I'm going to pop this off. The head has 1 ball joint at the top, but also underneath the neck there's another really tiny one there. So what this means is that it just gives you a bit extra, but as you can see here, the neck is going to be restricted just by how deep inside that area it is. Now, looking at her head, same type of thing going on here. You've got double pegs for her hair. That gives it a good range of motion, and also this moves a tiny bit, just a bit. So yeah, you can make her hair look natural within what type of pose you're doing. The face will pop off very easily, and you can take and change out the head just like any other Kotobukiya kit. Sandwiches in well there, nice. As for her stability, it's very impressive. Her cape will also move as well, and it goes up about that high. She can stand without a stand, because of course you're only going to get one of these ones, which I've said in past that I'm not too much of a fan of. Actually, it's probably okay with her because she hasn't got much bulk, so it can hold her even with the bow. So looking how this affixes to the back, you get an extra bit here that enables it to come away from her body a bit, which is nice. It means that, you know, you've got a bit of space to play with back there. So let's look at her accessories. In this form, like this, the bow has no ability to move, and that's because the joints here and here have been blocked off by the clear piece. But if you wanted to use it differently, you can have it like this, and she can hold it and use it as a bow, which is pretty cool. But I like it in this version. But that being said, if we just look at some of the detail on this thing, these parts at the top are meant to be yellow with red triangles in between, and that would look really nice. So if you have the ability to do that, then I would highly recommend it. These are not just white yellow, they are some nice type of metallic-y paint bits. There's a good lot of detail in here, panel lines, you could add anything there you wanted to. These are her water transfer decals, which will add some lovely colours to her dress and also on the back of her cape. And you get these parts here that enable you to use the bow without it being unstable, which is awesome, as you can see here in the manual. Also, as with Kotobukiya kits, you always get a good range of hands. Here you have 5 pairs of hands. So let's get into the differences between Jeanne that we see here and the Stella Innocent version I reviewed before. Well, the faces. Before you had a wink, side look and closed mouth smile, but now you have a calm face, a crying face, and a smiling face with eyes closed. Great thing is all these are now compatible, so if you wanted to mix and match, you have a great variety to choose from. I'm sorry guys, I don't have the old kit. I'm still working at home and so cannot compare in person. The decals are also different, as seen here. So yeah, this time actually it seems like you may have less choices, and mainly that's due to not having that big star that you can put on her cape at the back. It's only one colour this time. Also, talking about the cape, this time it's more wing-like, with no star cut into the middle. It's just 2 parts that act like, you know, wing shapes. They have nice panel lines on them, but it's a totally different mould there. Her chest is now skin and not armour, and her neck piece is a lot smaller than it was before. Also, the colours are different, and that's very obvious. The bow is the same mould, I believe, but different colours, and it looks so much better in my opinion. I'm going to keep saying this, but it just looks a lot better. Even though it's the same mould, I think the colours add detail in some way because they just pop a lot more. You can add a lot more detail, like I said, if you painted that bow. So something else that they point out is while you can always mix and match with Kotobukiya kits, the weapon additions as well, as you can see here. By the way, these are available on our site and they always add a little bit of variety to any Kotobukiya kit. But this kit specifically shows you a few things. That she works with Megami device bows with that hand gimmick support to give extra stability, and also it shows that you can change her legs with other kits to create unique designs. I guess you could change the arms as well. You could probably swap her with armorless designs, armored designs, different colours, more bulky, more slim and sexy, but it's really up to you. So summing up, whether it was me making this better this time, have I got that much better since December? I just felt like it was more stable, and the kit wasn't so flimsy. I also think that the colours are a lot better with this kit. She looks so much better. It pops, it looks a bit more, I don't know, a bit more summer-like. Just really like it. Also, even though those colours are a lot better, you can do a lot more. With a little bit extra work, you could quite easily paint those green bits in the hems of the dress, or the bow, you could paint the yellow bits. The cape as well can have some extra detail at the bottom, and also her bikini lines. I am afraid that if you did want to pick this one up, you're going to have trouble. It is discontinued, but there are still many Kotobukiya kits coming, and that we have on our website. So, you know, I think they're all great quality, to be honest. But yeah, make sure if you want one of these upcoming kits that you put in a pre-order, because unlike Bandai, these go discontinued rather than back-ordered. So you've got to be very careful with that. Anyway, thanks for sticking around, and I hope to catch you in another review soon. Stay tuned.